Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy posted a new message on Facebook this morning, speaking straight to the Russian military. He says, "You have come to destroy our cities, destroy our people. You are shelling routes of possible evacuation. There is no weapon that you would not use against us, against the free citizens of Ukraine." Let's bring in senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky in Ukraine, ABC's Elizabeth Schulze in Washington, ABC News contributors Darrell Blocker, former CIA station chief, and Marine Colonel Stephen Ganyard, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, for more on all of this. Thank you all for being here. Aaron, I want to start with you because you heard there the Russian minister wouldn't comment on civilian deaths, calling it conjecture. And he's actually pointing the finger at Ukrainian forces for just about everything. So what do we know about civilian deaths at this point?
We've seen the video evidence of residential civilian areas being hit by Russian shelling, Diane. And just this morning, the Ukrainians said that in the city of Chernihiv, there were aircraft attacks, Russian aircraft attacks on private homes and 2 schools. We've seen in the second largest city, Kharkiv, which has come under fierce bombardment of late, a number of private homes, the Ukrainians said, come under fire with civilian casualties as a result.
And Darrell, the information war has been going on long before this invasion. So how powerful of a weapon is that? And who do you think is winning on that front at this point?
It's always difficult to pick winners and losers on a day-to-day basis. But by my count, there were 46 coup attempts in Africa during my 30 years in. And every one of the leaders had the same playbook. Information warfare was in there. They would take over the telepost. They would take over the radio. They would take over the airfields. But Putin is operating in the 20th century. He cannot control the internet, and he cannot control people with phones out there. So the information warfare is fought on a different plane today than it was over the last couple of decades.
Now, Steve, Russia has said this invasion is about denazifying Ukraine, liberating territories in eastern Ukraine from neo-Nazi oppressors. Some experts, though, are now saying that Russian troops, because of that, may have expected to be welcomed by the people of Ukraine. So what do you make of that assessment? How much of a surprise is this resistance they've encountered?
I think it's extraordinary, Diane. If you listen to some of the taped confessions of the prisoners saying, we had no idea, we thought we were going on exercises, and you're our brothers. I mean, this is almost like the U.S. invading Canada. Like, what the heck are we doing? And the troops certainly weren't prepared. They weren't prepared mentally, and they certainly weren't prepared in terms of the preparation of the battlefield, because the performance of the Russian military up to now has been bafflingly bad.
And Elizabeth, Ukraine's negotiators are on their way to the second round of talks with Russia. What can we expect from that meeting? And is there any hopes for a ceasefire at this point?
Well, hopes for a breakthrough are dim, Diane. As one senior U.S. official tells us, these talks are a sideshow. Just this morning, we heard Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov double down on the demand that a peace agreement would require Ukraine to surrender and formally drop any ambitions to join NATO. That's been a non-starter. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy, for his part, has said Russia needs to stop its bombings as these ceasefire talks go on. That is clearly not what's happening on the ground.
And Steve, Russia claims to have surrounded several cities and taken control of Kherson in southern Ukraine. How significant is that?
I think what's significant about it, Diane, is how long it actually took. We've got to remember here that the Ukrainian military is outmatched. Man for man, it's about the same, but the technological sophistication of most of the Russian kit is far greater and far better than what's in Ukraine. So I'm more amazed that it's taken this long to take those cities. But those cities are mostly in the south, so it's going to take a long time for the Russian military to go up. The Ukrainians are doing the right thing. They're sort of defending, falling back, because if those troops to the south are on their way to Kyiv, then the Ukrainians will be able to pick them off as they go north. So I'm not surprised. I'm not worried about it, but we have to understand that at the end of the day, the Russian military numbers and capabilities are going to make it very, very difficult for the Ukrainians to continue to defend.
And Aaron, on that question of time and size, we've been watching that giant military convoy that has been making its way toward the capital city of Kyiv for the past few days, or since this invasion started, really. But they seem to be making very slow progress now. Is there any sense of what's happening there?
No, Western defense officials don't quite know what to make of it, Diane. That convoy has been menacing Kyiv for the last several days, and its exact purpose isn't clear. And let's propose one alternative to what Colonel Ganyard says. What if this is just a distraction? What if Kyiv isn't the point? What if, while we're all obsessed with what the convoy is doing, Russia is making inroads in the southeastern port cities, cutting off Ukraine's access to the Black Sea, and taking Kharkiv in the northeast, and really taking the entire eastern arc of Ukraine, the rich agricultural land of eastern Ukraine, the water, and then effectively dividing the country in two, leaving the rest of it to Ukraine, but creating the buffer that perhaps he wants from the West. We just can't get inside Putin's head, or ultimately what the purpose of that convoy is.
Daryl, given all of these questions that Steve and Aaron are raising and the whole information atmosphere right now, how crucial is intelligence at this point?
Intelligence is always crucial. It lets you know where you stand in terms of, beans and bullets and all that other things that are, wrapped up in war. Intelligence is not a panacea, though, and intelligence is not going to win the war. That's done in the trenches, on the ground, by troops.
All right, Stephen Ganyard, Daryl Blocker, Elizabeth Schulze, Aaron Katursky, thank you all.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.